When my husband died, it wasn't just a moment of grief, it was a moment of revelation, a cruel twist of fate that left the world thinking I was broken, alone, and helpless, while in reality, I was sitting on a fortune of $500 million, a truth I swore to hide until I could separate the fair from the false, the genuine hearts from the greedy ones, and the ones who loved me from the ones who loved my money. That first night, as I sat alone in our cold, silent mansion, the weight of loss pressed against my chest, and yet an unexpected thrill ran through me, a dangerous, exhilarating thought. I can finally see who really sees me, not what I possess. The following days were a theater of human nature. Distant relatives who had never sent a card or even made a phone call suddenly appeared at the doorstep, their faces painted with grief and sympathy, their words dripping with concern, yet every glance and gesture hinted at calculation, as if they were already figuring out how much they could take from me, how they could maneuver into my life, how they could touch the money that they didn't yet know existed but would soon feel in their bones. My sister-in-law hugged me tight, her arms warm but eyes cold, whispering, "We'll take care of you, don't worry," and I smiled politely, noting the quick glance at my inheritance papers that I had wisely locked away. My brother, once my closest confidant, began offering advice under the guise of protection. "For your safety, you should sign over the house and the investments to me temporarily. It's just until you feel ready." And I sat across from him with a serene calm, observing the twitch of his jaw, the subtle flicker of greed in his eyes, knowing that this moment, this very conversation, would define our future relationship. I took my time, pretending to be fragile and naive, working small tasks around the house in plain clothes, going to the local market, even volunteering at the nearby shelter, all while every interaction became a test, every handshake, every smile a measure of authenticity. And slowly, oh so slowly, the true faces began to emerge, the fake friends, the long-lost cousins, the business partners who suddenly remembered me and my needs. They all revealed their hunger, and I stored each moment in the corners of my mind, like secret files ready to be opened at the right time. Then, as if fate had a plan to teach me patience and endurance, I took a job at a small cafe on the corner, where the aroma of coffee masked the bitterness of deception and the ordinary rhythm of life became a safe harbor, and it was there that I met him. A man who, on the surface, seemed nothing extraordinary, just a customer who came in every morning, ordered the same simple coffee, and sat quietly, watching the world pass. Yet who treated me with a respect so rare that it startled me. He never asked about my past, never judged, never hinted at ambitions or expectations, and his kindness was pure, untainted, like sunlight breaking through a stormy sky. As weeks passed, I allowed myself to study him, to watch his actions, the small gestures of integrity that made him stand out from the ocean of opportunists around me, and I felt a cautious hope stirring within me, a dangerous feeling, because I had learned that hope could be weaponized, and love could be twisted into pain. Meanwhile, my family's scheming escalated. One by one, they tried to infiltrate my life, leveraging fear, manipulation, and emotional blackmail, pretending they were worried for my well-being while plotting to seize the property, the assets, the keys to my future, and each encounter strengthened my resolve. Then came the night of betrayal, the night that would have broken anyone else. They cornered me, documents spread before me, voices sharp and persuasive, demanding signatures, claiming legal safety, threatening subtle emotional punishment, and I sat in silence, pretending to falter, pretending to fear, all the while recording every word in my mind, every glance, every tremor of deceit, until the moment was ripe. When morning came, I summoned my lawyer, activated all legal papers, and called the family to the house under the pretext of discussion, and then, like a curtain being drawn back, I revealed the truth. I was no longer the widow they assumed I was, no longer vulnerable, no longer invisible. I was the owner of a $500 million empire, a fortune they had tried to manipulate, and for a split second, the room froze, shock, shame, disbelief, and fear washed over them all at once. Some faces turned pale, others scowled, but none dared to challenge me, because they finally saw the force behind my calm exterior, the strength behind my silence, the power that had been mine all along. I spoke clearly, every word deliberate. Any relationship that survives only because of money is no relationship at all. I began removing everyone toxic from my life, severing ties, letting the chips fall where they may, and yet, as powerful as this victory felt, a deeper test awaited. The man from the cafe, the one who had known me when I had nothing, when the world judged me based on appearances, when nobody bothered to notice the person I was underneath the surface. Telling him the truth about my fortune, about the schemes, about the betrayal, was a risk I had to take, and when I finally did, Silence hung between us like a fragile crystal. Then he smiled, quietly, reassuringly, saying, "I liked you when you had nothing, and I still do." And in that moment, a wave of relief and love flooded through me, confirming what I had long suspected. True wealth is never measured in dollars, but in people who stand by your side without greed, without expectation, without pretense. That day marked the beginning of a new chapter, a life rebuilt from the ashes of deceit and grief, stronger, wiser, and free from fear, knowing that the ones who stay when the world sees you as powerless are the ones who truly belong to you, and that the inheritance I once feared revealing became a tool not for control, but for uncovering the truth about human nature, love, and loyalty, teaching me that life's greatest fortunes are the people who value you for your heart, not your wealth, and that my story, though built on a hidden inheritance, was ultimately about discovering who would love me for me, and who would abandon me for the glitter of gold.